I did some research today. So one of my team members and I, we interviewed a, young woman who is looking to be married, So I asked her, what is the issue? She says she's looking to be married, but she has fears and apprehension. I said, what is your fear? She said to me that, what if she marries somebody who's, in my words, unstable, and she has to walk around eggshells, and she's not feeling, comfortable in there, and, from her tribe, they don't just divorce because you're not feeling safe in a marriage or you're not feeling loved in a marriage. It's not enough reason in her tribe to divorce. So she's very worried about getting married to the, inverted commas, wrong person. So I asked her, have you got any support? Did any training and all that? I've been asking. I said, but you're still scared? She says, yes, I'm still scared. I said, your fear is warranted. Your fear is telling you that there's something you should concern yourself with. Going into marriage is something that you got to be prepared to do, and you must go forward with the proper preparation and attract correctly. It's a very important decision, especially if you come from a tribe where we don't divorce because we're not feeling warm and fuzzy in the marriage, Because if that was the case, a lot of people from the tribe, if they could, they don't feel warm and fuzzy, they would have obviously left. But some of them in certain tribes, no, that's not enough. He has to be beating you up. You have to be completely finished. It must be unbearable for you to leave a marriage. Some people are like that, right? So I said to her, it sounds like you have a good, it's my research, right? You can see, I'm not saying I want to create a course. I'm not saying I want to help women. I'm freaking showing up and doing it. I'm not saying I'm trying to understand. I'm saying, let me understand. I'm being proactive in my, let me understand these people from this tribe. What are their challenges? What are they dealing with? And then we found out she didn't, although she comes from a faith that is Muslim, she didn't understand. So I asked her, if you had to express to somebody why you want to get married, somebody's proposing to you, and if you had to express yourself, why you want to get married, what would you say to them? Now the long story is she had a lot of things to say, but I said to her, but a simple thing, if you're really concerned you're going to marry the wrong person, meaning you're going to be with an unstable man, what are you going to say to them if they propose? She says, but we don't know. People can tell us, that they're nice, but only when you marry them and you're with them, then you're stuck with them. This tribe is like that. You get stuck with somebody, you can't leave. You married them, it's all done now. You stay there. So they'll show their true colors, and then you're stuck there. So she's trying to argue the point that you can never know, and it's very risky getting married. And I said to her, yes. It is very risky getting married, but you can marry successfully, and you can be really, really satisfied in your marriage. You can be confident, with 100% confidence, about your decision to marry the guy. And I said to her, this is how you do it. I said to her, first understand this. Now again, she's coming from Islamic background. I said to her, the reason why you would want to marry if you were a believer, from a pragmatic way, is that a believer is living their life. She's now into her 20s, and she's ready to move on with her life. She's ready to partner with somebody, start a life together with somebody, live as an adult with another adult, maybe have a family. This is the reason why she wants to marry is move into the next chapter of her life, according to her words. So I said, that's fair, that's reasonable. Because I teach the same thing. Have a relationship with God. You got that? Yes, Ashraf, I got that. You have a relationship with yourself. Got that? Yes, Ashraf, I got that. You got a relationship with your body. Yes, Ashraf, I got that. You got a relationship with your life. Yes, Ashraf, I got that. You got a relationship with your future. Yes, Ashraf, I got that. Potentials. And you got a relationship with people in your life, social connections that are good, friends and all that, people you can trust, not toxic and all that. You're socially supported. Yes, you got that. So you got a life. Now it's natural to move on to the next level of connection and relationship, which is with a spouse. You got God, yourself, your body, your life, your future, your afterlife. You got friends, family, whatever it is. Now, spouse, intimacy, satisfaction, human needs. human with human being together. You know what I mean? It's normal. That's the reason why you marry, because it's the next step in the chapter, next evolution along the way. So I said to her, the Quran says that God has created us from one soul and that we may choose from among ourselves partners to pair with. He put love and compassion in our hearts that we may dwell with each other in tranquility. So I said to her, if somebody, now this particular tribe, sub-tribe of a tribe, because the question is how do women get married? That's what I was thinking about today. How do women get married? I know this is a bit of ASL, but bear with me. How do women get married? If you know how women get married, I don't know, tell me, because I'm not a woman and I didn't get married as a woman. But this is what I'm thinking, right? I worked with women, I speak to women, I know women, I've got eyes to see. So women sometimes will know somebody, either from school or from their family or their family's friends, and they can get set up in some way, even you can know somebody that you end up marrying, either from school or family or family's friends that you knew that you can marry. That's one way, right? If you know any other ways, tell me that I'm not telling you. Then your family and friends can introduce you to somebody who you can come to know and you can marry. That's another way of women getting married. And then obviously women go to university, they meet people there, they can marry, or college, they can marry there. Or they get a job somewhere and they go out into the world of work, and in the job or whatever it is, somebody at the workplace or somebody buying from the store or coming around, you can meet somebody there. That's another way of people meeting, So there's this particular subgroup of women who don't have those kind of opportunities. And so they don't go out, their parents very conservative, and so the way it's done, I believe it's called the samosa run. Now you know who I'm talking about if I'm using the word samosa. The samosa run. So families know their sons want to get married, and they get told by other people or other families that they are eligible girls for marriage in certain homes and certain families. And so people make that call and they ask, we would like to come and see the girl. The boy would like to come and just see. We want to see. That means this is the move now. So the people will say, who are you, whatever it is. Yes, you can. Yes, you can't. Come and see. So what happens, a delegation with the boy, small delegation with the boy, will come to the girl's house. That's where the samosas come out, right? There'll be tea and samosas, whatever it is. The family will meet. The boy will get the opportunity. Don't laugh, right? It still happens like this. The boy gets an opportunity to actually talk to the girl. Oftentimes chaperoned, but sometimes in a nearby space vicinity, not too far away. The boy gets the chance to either look at the girl or talk to the girl, and that girl must feel hope I'm chosen, whatever it is, or she's checking him out too. So it happens like that. And so this kind of situation we're talking about happens. And this is the kind of person I'm speaking to here. And the samosa run, right? So these women they're not exposed to people where they can meet them and talk. They're very conservative families. The people come in. So you can imagine the fear that this young woman is feeling. That how can I, based on a little conversation with somebody, decide to marry somebody, or maybe a few conversations with somebody, marry somebody. So obviously the families are Muslim, and both families are Muslim. And so I said to her, imagine if somebody comes to you on the samosa run. Now I've described to you the samosa run. You know what the samosa run is now. I've heard the word recently. So this is not the love marriage type, or where women found their own guys, or women were proposed to out. This is the samosa run, strictly samosa run. So I said to her, so obviously these people are coming in are Muslims. It's not somebody that's, families won't allow it. Traditional Muslim families, Muslims must marry Muslims. That's how it is. But the Quran says believers must marry believers, which is quite something else. Because you can be in a Muslim club, but you're not necessarily a believer. Anyway, I'll cut this story short. So I said to her, if you had to say to the guy who came to see you, to say, thank you for coming to visit, and at least we get a chance to talk, about our intentions to marry. You don't have to marry me, I don't have to marry you. But we can talk. While we are here, we can talk. And I'd like to know, why you're thinking about marrying. Or why do you want to get married, And I'd like to share with you why I want to get married. And if this woman said, because the Muslim boys are coming through, she said, the Quran says that we can dwell in tranquility. That God put love and compassion in our hearts. And there's love and compassion in our hearts. And we can actually dwell. Thank you for that. So there's some research there. You can have a look at that if you want. That has been posted there. So I will be looking at it. So if a guy says, well, I want to get married because I'm ready now, and I got money, and I got a business, and I want a wife, and I got this, that, and the other, because this is what happens, like how much you're worth, what you can buy me, whatever it is. This is how people think, right? For where they are, the Islamis. And so I said to her, what if you said to him that I'm not saying that you should be this, I'm just saying what I want for me in my future. That I'm thankful to God who created us with love and compassion in our hearts, and I want to express love and compassion for somebody who has love and compassion for me. The basis of my marriage must be dwelling in tranquility. If there's no tranquility, I don't want to be married. I'm not saying tranquility is all the reason I'm going to marry, but it's the basis. Meaning that I want to feel safe. I want to feel cared for. I want to feel respected. That's the basis of the kind of marriage I want. Now, if the guy is insecure, he'll make his exit very quickly. She will be protected by that, by saying that. This is what I really want. I want to marry Quranically. You get what I mean? Tranquility. And then I began to tell her about, she says, but what if people, in their hearts, they're bad people, or they I said the Quran says there are those who say they believe in Allah in the last day, but they don't believe in Allah in the last day. I said there'll be people who come to you who want to marry you. They don't believe in Allah in the last day, but they say they believe in Allah. In their hearts is a disease. I said these are the ones you're scared of. These are the ones you fear marrying. In their hearts is a disease. You see, the Quran is guiding you, I said. That God's favor as a woman is respecting yourself and knowing that you can live in harmony, and the rights of women in Islam, self-determination. I said, God is for you. He's for marriage. He's not just for any marriage. He's for a tranquil marriage. And the Prophet said women are self-determined. They can choose who they want to marry, what they want, for what reasons they want to marry. I told you the whole thing. Their money is theirs, you can't take their money. You have to provide for them. They must have privacy. Not even your mother or you can go into a space that is their own privacy. You know what I mean? They don't have to cook for you. You have to provide for them. They don't have to cook for you. Women, they don't have to cook for you. They can cook for you out of love. It's not that Muslim women are against cooking for their husbands. No, they can if they want to share their money with you. They can if they want to, cook for you and all that. But, this is a situation. A father who educated 2 daughters will get heaven. Get what I mean? This is the respect for a woman. And if she bears children for you, she doesn't even have to wet nurse them, suckle them. They can get a wet nurse, somebody else, to look after the baby and even suckle, baby food for the baby, from mother's baby food, So anyway, so that's what I'm saying to you. So I'm explaining to her that there are these people and they have in their hearts disease. They say they believe in Allah in the last day, but their hearts are diseased. They lie to themselves, thinking they lie to Allah. They'll try to lie to you too, I said to her. But in their hearts is a disease, and that disease is expanded. I said, if you marry them, their hearts are diseased, and that disease is going to expand. No peace for you there. There's no peace. They'll say they believe in Allah, but you're marrying a hypocrite. The Quran says, I said, woe to those who stand in prayer, but whose hearts lack the smallest of kindnesses. I say, if you fearing marrying a man who's going to scare you, threaten you, you can't be yourself and all that sort of thing, you're describing a man with a diseased heart. You get what I mean? And that is a hypocrite. Allah doesn't want that for you. I told her these kind of things, and she responded well to them. And I explained to her that she can be intentional with Allah. She can say, thank you, Allah, universal creator, thank you for creating women to be respected. I appreciate that. Thank you for creating us to dwell in tranquility. This is a favor from you. Want this for me. I thought I was the only one who wanted it for me. You're guiding me to not be with men who are distorted in their hearts. So I went on to say to her, I don't know if there's any value to anybody I'm saying this, I'm digress, please forgive me. But I said to her that, do you want to be with a man who's got a diseased heart, whose heart is going to be more diseased as the days go by? Do you want to? I don't think anybody in their right mind wants that. I said, do you want to be with a man who's going to live in this world lost and who's going to go to hell in the next? Do you want a man like that in your life who is going to hell? I mean, what kind of, I would rather have a partner who's going to heaven, who at least is purifying the heart. Because the Quran says, I explained to her about the heart and what the Quran says, and her family is from a religious kind of family where parents and all that are educated in this kind of thing. Where that it's the only thing that's going to benefit you after your death is bringing to God a purified heart. I said, do you want to be with a man who does not purify his heart? I don't want to influence anybody, right? I'm saying this to her because she said it to me, that she doesn't want to be with somebody who she's going to regret being with. I'm saying, yes, the Quran also doesn't want you to be with a person like that. But you have God who finds the way out, who finds you the partner. You must relax and realize you're not thinking about this like nobody thought about it. God knows already what's good for you. He wants this for you, and He's here for you. He will guide you. He will protect you. You got to use your reason. You got to play your role to make sure in these situations you don't let yourself down. You know what I mean? You got to be, I said she's half my age or so, right? So I asked her, does this sound like, for young people today, does it sound like crazy? Could you do it? I'm not saying that she should do it. I'm saying, but if a man comes to see her on the samosa run, can she say to him, I don't know why you want to get married, and I'd like to know, and I'll tell you why I want to get married. I want to get married for Quranic reasons. Quranic, meaning to dwell in tranquility with a man who's purifying his heart, who stands in prayer, but his heart is kind. That's what I want. My whole intention for marriage is based on, if I don't have that, I can't proceed. There's other things I want to. But that is the basis. We can't continue discussing. I'm not saying you should become a man who purifies your heart and wants to go to heaven and all that sort of thing. But that's what I want. Just by feeling good with God's receiving that gift, that God gave her these needs and He's providing for her needs. There are men in the world who God has created that are there, who are purifying their hearts, whatever it is. You don't have to know where they are. God finds them, brings them to you, whatever. So, how awesome. That was our first session today. So I'm going to have a few more sessions to see how different groups of women are, how they marry and how we can support them, because I do speak from an Islamic way, and if there are Islamic people out there and they want to have this way of doing it, I'm not imposing this on those that are not Islamic or anything, but even if you're not Islamic, you can say, I'm interested in a man who's spiritual. I'm interested in a man who is cleansing his heart, which is universal. I'm interested in a person who is secure and wants to become more secure. I'm a person who is open to being kind to himself, his body, his life, selfful. But you must be that yourself. You can't say, I want that. Surely you can get that. But I've been with people, I know, there are people who want that, a man who's that, but they're not prepared themselves to become that, to receive the kindness of God, and to be kind to themselves and their bodies and their lives and their future lives and their afterlives and their partners to be and partners who are kind to them. Was that meaningful to anybody, that digression? Did anybody get anything out of that?